Okay, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, 4K. Yeah, let's take a look at this. I did a quick review, just wanted to get my scores and thoughts out there. Let's see what I said. Well, I gave the video 4.25 out of 5, and I gave the same for the audio. Both are not perfect. Not perfect. Things are pulling them down, and maybe other people could see that as I should be reviewing this further down. Like to review things in a holistic way. It's not just all right. One thing is completely wrong with this disc. It just pulls the whole disc down, and now it's bad. Um, you know, I don't want to review that way. So there are good qualities here, definitely good qualities. But the things that pull it down, could really hurt some people, I think, and especially some displays. The elephant in the room is the movie is too dark. It's just graded way too dark. Revealing facial detail in some scenes is difficult. When you come in from the sun and you go into a completely dark movie theater, right, or your room, your movie room, and stuff like that, your eyes are having to adjust now, right? They're having to adjust, and that takes time for them to adjust to this pitch black room. And now you're watching a movie, and you're just having to take that time to adjust to this type of light. In some of the scenes, that's what it felt like. It felt like my eyes were actually having to adjust because it was so dark compared to maybe other scenes, and it was the only other time I've seen this, or there's probably been a few other times, but one movie comes to mind is Terminator Dark Fate. This had a train scene. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows it at this point if you know video and like what to look for and the issues and problems people will definitely have. Train scene, just borderline unwatchable. And for me, this is one of the issues with digital color grading. Your grade, I mean, I don't know when it was shot, meaning time of day, in a studio, all of this, studio lighting as well. This is potentially another issue. Then you go into post-production and you're applying color grading to it, and hey, we want this scene to look like night, right? So you have to pull all of this dynamic contrast and everything that you have into the shot. You have to grade this all the way down, and I think you're grading things down too heavy. Yeah, sure, we want to know that it's night, but there's other things in the shot that should be bright, and they're not bright. The moon being one of them. When you grade your moon down, and there's no light coming from the moon, and there's nothing else around you, apart from farmyards and stuff, where's the light coming from? It's not coming from anywhere. It's this is the problem here as well. They've just graded it down too far. You've got dark campfire jungle scenes where it's a struggle to make out what the detail and anything that's happening in some of these scenes. But this it does have some good. The disc does have some good things. The light scenes look really good. The resolution is excellent. It's sharp. That's not something I normally say for digital, because to me digital looks soft. I know there is a way, there is a look of digital that has an edge of sharpness. That's different. To be fair, that's more of a ringing thing with digital. You can actually smooth out stuff like that by putting them on film first, like Dune and the Batman. Smooth that edge off a little, and get a different look. But the resolution really, really good. Surprising for digital, because you never normally see that. Audio is 8 dB below reference. Some compression is used. Not what you think though. Not compression in the sense of MP3 lossless compression compared to this lossless, it's not like that. I'm not meaning it in the way that audio is actually not at full range. I'm not meaning it that. There's plenty of bass in this movie. It's actually relatively deep sometimes, though it's room-filling bass. It's good. It's like, whoa, this is from Disney, and we've actually got some bass in this movie. Quite nice. Then on the high end, dialogue, it's clear and sparkles and twinkling and things. So the dynamic range from the movie is there. Compression is more from the point of view of audio balancing, where this sound down here that is twinkling and this ultra high bass or explosive sound, they're brought into a range kind of like upward and downward compression, really, which is your highs and your lows, bringing those sounds closer together to create a higher average sound, really. So yeah, took some screenshots. Let's get into it. So just wanted to get an idea of shots outside. They do look good. Fonts very clear. They're not using 2K fonts and upscaled. To me that looks 4K. Very sharp. We're focused on these buildings here. Everything else has a stylized blur to it, out of focus, you could say. Focusing on these points. There's a lot of things like this that they're doing in this movie. Some of it looks really good, actually. Just again, wanted to get an idea of some outdoor shots. The first thing I saw when I got into this building is the lighting they're using in this room is absolutely awful. Now, when they were shooting this, it might have been as bright as my room, really, really lots of color, vibrant color, but you're grading this down so much that it just looks dull and lifeless. Why would you do that? I don't know. I don't really know why you're doing this. This is a Disney movie. This is a Marvel movie. Why are we dark? Like, why are we doing it? Like, this is this is not a Zack Snyder movie. Zack Snyder has also learnt, you have to grade things a certain way in HDR for them to look good. There's a few of his movies that have been regraded because of this. So, this for me doesn't work. I want this more vibrant, especially again from a Marvel movie. For it to look like this, just to me, is just strange. I don't know why they're doing this. On a different discussion, resolution, facial detail, even kind of like these mid-range shots, really, really good. Excellent detail. It's capturing good skin tone here, really, really good. But for me, here this is where in any building scenario is the lighting this so far gone? I just don't know. And again, I think they're just color grading this down just way too hard. Where would I work in a building like this, where the lighting is like this? You have lights here, but again, you've graded this down so hard to have that filmic look. Yeah, that's the look we want, right? But you've just lost everything. I don't like that. I just don't like that. I guess TV shows as well that had this issue. Game of Thrones, absolutely. Now I've also heard, just from a few people, don't know whether it's true, this actually looks worse on Disney Plus. Um, See, I would assume on Disney Plus what they would have done is just said, look, you know, we respect the intent of this movie, but we can't let it go out like this. You know, we have to do something to try and bring the life back into this, because most of the people that are watching this are on your $500 to $1,000 displays, right? I don't even know if some people are even going that high, but so a lot of these TVs just can't do this type of black level detail and have low APL, low average picture level. It's just the amount of light on the screen can't get boosted enough, if that's the right word, enough. It just can't do it. It just doesn't have that. Now again, yeah, this might look good on a $35,000 reference monitor, but I don't watch movies on a $35,000 reference monitor. You know, I watch them on a $4,000 or $5,000 OLED, and even that was calibrated. Even my TV is calibrated, you know, professionally. Somebody has came here. I've paid them to calibrate my display to, you know, from the blacks to the whites to the grayscale, the 6500 Kelvin, to get this my TV looking to a state where it tries to emulate and match what the original source was. Was this the original intent? I don't know. Like, it's too dark. It's just way too dark. But might be difficult to see on some of these shots. This is a 235 black border. This is black. This is zero black. When I say 0 and 100, and I normally refer to things in percentages for color. This is 0% black, right? So there is a difference between these two. So this we're not crushed, you know, or anything like that. So it's not a limitation of any signal path, or you know, there was no crushing of blacks or black level detail and things like that. So yeah. Now this one I got the SDR from. I just wanted to get an idea of the differences between the SDR. And in most shots I wish they would have graded closer to the SDR to give shots a bit more pop. This here, this reflection, just general reflections on skin, things like that, they just have more pop. And on the Blu-ray in SDR, well, this is just going back to the conversation about Disney Plus. When Disney Plus first came out and it was free, in the US at least, you could maybe test it for 6 months, whatever, see what it's all about. There was some Star Wars show, TV show come on. We watched all this, you know, every episode and stuff. But I could, because I was watching 4Ks most of the time and I didn't realize how bad streaming was, I actually had to turn off HDR on my Roku. At the time I was using a Roku. I still have the Roku, but the apps on TVs now, they're so good. They just make things, you know, they make things look better. The Roku is really a poor man's streaming tool. Its quality isn't good. Anyway, I had to turn HDR off for streaming platforms and on the Roku. I was like, no, I'm not dealing with it. Turning it off because HDR looked bad on streaming services. It'll just look bad. I kept the 4K resolution because the 4K resolution gives you that detail and everything like that. But I'm like, I'm not dealing with HDR. Streaming services can't do HDR properly. So, you know, what makes you think that they're sending this through in Dolby Vision? on Disney Plus, be careful what you wish for, because you just got it. You've got Dolby Vision, and when you play things in Dolby Vision, most of the times they are actually darker than HDR10. The reasons for that is because the content really is being then catered to your display, which is limited, right? It's not a perfect display. Excuse me. It's not a perfect display. So it's trying to do its best. We're not clipping, we're not crushing, and any time that you have this type of limited light on the screen, in some cases it's probably just going to look worse in Dolby Vision. You can turn Dolby Vision off. The encode is the same, by the way, with a Dolby Vision disc. The only difference between the file itself is the metadata in Dolby Vision. The encode is no different. There's not a HDR10 file and then a Dolby Vision file. The Dolby Vision file is the HDR10 file plus the Dolby Vision metadata. That's all this is. The reason why we say that Dolby Vision is great, number one, you're running through a Dolby chip that's inside every display. That goes through the 12-bit and does a bunch of smoothing, and not smoothing is probably the right word, but you just get greater bit depth with it because of 12-bit. We might be dithering with 12-bit, but still, their techniques are better than all TVs at doing this compared to HDR10. They're all better. Some of the Sonys I've seen, I think the QD OLED from last year, incredible. The bit depth you're getting just from HDR10 could be rivaling, Dolby. It's really good. It's excellent. And if you could get your HDR10s to catch up, some of these TVs now, from last year, they're getting better now at tone mapping, which is really the biggest problem. This is a 1000 nit disc. Can we get 1000 nits to actually look correct on a display? So going off on a little bit of tangent here about Dolby and everything like that, but again, this would be a struggle on streaming services. But again, I'm surprised they even sent it out like that. We've raised too much gamma again with SDR, but we kind of do have. There's some things I like in it. Night shots. Yeah, night shots are also really a problem as well. Where's the light coming from in this shot? Is it this is simulated the moon, reflecting back. There's just not enough light in these shots. It's poorly lit. Now this is where I was like, oh my god. I was like, what is going on here? How can you not apply? Why would you not apply or use any lighting for your actors here? It's just like, if the goal was we're in the jungle, right, and we just don't want any surrounding light or whatsoever, but there's a moon above here, right? It's just not powerful. If you lit this on film, where color grading is then minimal and you can't do as much post-production work on film because you have to do lighting there and then on the day, this would be lit completely differently. I took some screenshots of another movie, Tenet, and I've got them at the end of these screenshots, just to give you an idea of how somebody on film lights night scenes. So yeah, just wanted to give you and look, this is the HDR version, and this is the SDR version. I mean, don't think we escape this problem on SDR either. Sure, it's It's better on the eyes, the SDR version. It's not like we've come in from the sun and we're having that issue of your eyes being trying to adapt to this, you know. But even the SDR, where's the like what we got this campfire here? Moonlight has been graded so far down that yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know how they let it go like this. Now on my C9, I could not see. I just could not see this guy's face really. I could. His left eye, I couldn't even see it. I'm like, what is going on here? Like they graded this down that far. So, from a style choice, and again, digital color. This is supposed to be the moon, by the way. It's just up here, right? Provide more light, please. Like, don't light scenes like this. It just doesn't look good. Number one, it doesn't look good, and if you're trying to create some realism here out in the jungle, forget it. Just don't do that, in my opinion. Again, this might look good on a $35,000 reference monitor. For everybody else, which doesn't have that, which is most people, which is going to be 99.9% of the people, unless you're an enthusiast, you don't have that display, right? And even then, you're not going to watch a movie on that. It's like, what, 27 inch or 36 inch, right? I'm not watching a movie on that. So what do we have that's going to make this movie look good? This is the problem. That's the SDR. Again, it makes things a lot easier to see, the detail on his face and things like that, but we're still, the moon is more powerful, right? But it's still poorly lit. When we have light, very good, right? Excellent resolution, really, really nice. These kind of like hyper-focused shots, backgrounds are, out of focus, things like that. Really, really nice. Some nice shots. So, that's the black level detail discussion of this. It is a problem, right? I hope somebody from Disney realizes this and says, you can't grade content this way anymore. Because if you remember back in the day, in the CRT days, right, there was something called safe action. What safe action was really for overscan. And if most TVs today, you can get zero overscan, right? Meaning you can see every pixel that is in the signal from the top all the way to the bottom, sides, everywhere, right? Some TVs crop, some Blu-ray players crop, they miss a few pixels. Need to find out which ones don't. But my point is that there was something called safe action, and this is actually quite good because we had the 235 border. If you was applying, if this was in 16:9, if you was applying any fonts on the screen or tickers like you was watching a newsreel, right? They have to make sure that the newsreel or ticker that's going along the bottom is visible on all TVs, right? And back in the day, we didn't have widescreen. We just had a 4:3 display. And most of the stuff was like in this center part of the screen, but they had to make sure that whatever they put on the screen, logos, things, fit on the screen. Some TVs, they curved on the edge of the screen, and you couldn't put stuff there, so you had to bring it in. This was basically called safe action. It's to do with overscan. It's to do with all of this. Once we got into LCD, though, all of this was gone, really. This really wasn't a problem anymore. You still want to put fonts in things on screen in the perfect place, but let's go back quickly. Why did they do this? They did this because they knew the majority of the population did not have displays like they had in their, in their rooms, right? To their monitors that was creating the content could probably see everything, right? Most people's TVs couldn't do this. My point is that they made content for the everyday man's TV, right? This is what Disney need to do as well, and companies, they need to be aware of this. Is, all right, we've graded this picture and it looks really good on our reference monitor. Okay, well, now see what it looks like on your $100 TV, your $200 TV, a $500 TV, an OLED, a projector. Let's see what it looks like over a wide gamut of displays. What we've done in the studio, does it translate to what people see? This, and I don't think they've done that. And again, this might be an issue with digitally color graded movies. You're grading things down too much and you just lose all the light. Could be that issue as well. But I don't know. I think something needs to change, because I don't think you can do this. You have to light scenes in a much better way. And when you're using color grading to bring things down, somehow they have to keep the light. Even with that film, it looks still. Alright, let's move on from the dark. That's enough of that. Outdoor scene. Hyper-focused again. Shots, backgrounds, unfocused. If you know about encoding, these are really, really easy scenes to encode, because even if your encode settings weren't perfect, right? On Disney Plus and those type of platforms, they're unfocused anyway, so it's hard to see where things went wrong, or if anything is wrong. So this is good. There's by the way, there's no film grain, no visible film grain on this movie either. So that helps a lot. It can reduce bit rates by 30% by doing this. So no more film grain from Disney movies, that's for sure. From what I've seen lately, and I don't like that, but from an encoding point of view and the way they want their disc to look, and only using a 66 gigs disc, this is it's good for them. So facial detail, absolutely excellent. Again, digital cameras pulling this much detail out here is just absolutely incredible. So I got nothing wrong with the detail here. It's really, really good. Outside, we have nice detail here on the t-shirt. There's plenty of detail there. Same here. We've got the trees, this canopy, or you could say, hiding a lot of light, but there's still enough light in the scene that we can light her skin really nicely, right? This looks good. It's well lit. There's light coming above her hair, that type of thing, and we're getting into this ultra stylized shot here, where even the sides of her jacket here are blurred out, and the person next to her, we are blurring her out to just focus on facial detail and the character themselves while they're speaking. I do like this. It looks really good. I think that looks good. Again, we've got great detail on her, around her face, eyes, skin, everything. Really good, right? Just wanted to get an idea again for lighting conditions outside. Most of the shots here are cloudy, and that's kind of how the movie looks, really. Not all the time it's ultra bright. There are times where it is ultra bright, but yeah, just wanted to get, again, any daytime scene, I just want to get an idea of what it looked like. Really good shot, excellent resolution again. Really good resolution, hair detail, everything. Just really good shots like this. Really, really good shots. Excellent detail on her face, everything. Really impressive. This scene, her and another woman, they're walking down this, I think this, like they're growing plants and stuff like that. But in here, the colors look excellent. They're vibrant, extremely colorful, bold, really, really good. Looks good, you know. When parts of the movie do get it right, it does look really, really good. Okay, so this one is the 4K. This is the Blu-ray. Now, well, the Blu-ray. The first thing you can actually notice is the clouds clip on Blu-ray. You've just about lost all of that detail, right? So it is too bright. The Blu-ray in SDR grade is too bright. It's definitely way too bright compared to the actual 4K itself. This is normal a lot of the times because what we see on the TV and what you see in, say, a screenshot can be completely different. But this is just showing it. It's just too much. Gamma raised, everything's just pushed up too far. But let's look at this though. Really, really good shot again for facial detail. Superb. Revealing lots of different skin colors here, and you know, when things are lit correct, it looks good. They're using this style again where we are blurring this out, but we're keeping the facial detail and this confrontation here in focus. Really, really good. When you get into these types of shots, they look excellent. They got lots of color in them. It's really good. Yeah, I like this. So again, another strange lighting scene for me. Imagine going into your kitchen, right? Filming a scene for a movie, and we'll be like, we're not going to turn on any lights. Just keep all the lights off. We're going to film this like this. This is what this looked like. This is not what my room looks like with a light on. You know, it doesn't look like that. We've graded the picture down just too far. That if there was lights in this scene, even if they was as bright as my room right now, we've brought it down just way too much to get that filmic look. Whatever they're doing is wrong. You know, this is not right. This is not how this should look, in my opinion. Or you shouldn't grade this way. You can blame people's TVs all you like. On my reference monitor, it looks perfect, right? You can, you know. But the general public has to watch this. I've heard reports that it was dark in movie theaters too. So what are you grading it for? Like, what percentage of the population can watch this as you graded it? Nobody. Okay. Lots of detail and differences in skin color here, right? Because you've provided enough light to your actor's skin, right? You can see lots of different things going on here. This is good. This is really, you know, a shot like Iron Man. The suit illuminates her face and it's nice and bright. You've got nice and bright colors here and here and here. This is good, right? This is how you light somebody. This was completely fine, I thought. This is good. Again, lots of detail. Very good. Chadwick Boseman. They paid great respect to him in this movie at the start and then at the end. I was in tears, really, watching this. From a photography point of view, what else matters in this shot? The only thing that matters is him. That's all we're paying respect to, and he's the only thing that matters in this shot. This is why everything else around him is blurred, because nothing else matters. The only thing that matters is him. And yeah, that was a good, really good tribute for him. Made him look really good. You know, you don't realize sometimes how much you miss somebody until they're gone. So, but yeah, really good tribute, really good shot, excellent. But yeah, sad to see him go. But okay, let's move on. So, Wyver took a screenshot of Tenet. This is Tenet. This is from the 4K. This is IMAXed, full IMAX. These scenes. There is a reason why I've used this movie. Is number one, it was shot on film, right? It's shot on film. It's shot by a director that I respect, Christopher Nolan, and he has to light his movies as he films them, right? A lot of post-production work with actual lighting itself. There is color grading, sure, you know, and there's definitely a lot of things that they can do, but a lot of the work is done on set, you know, with this type of lighting, right? I wanted to get an idea of the lighting he would use to accentuate his qualities, right? Well, first off, we're in the daytime, right? So relatively easy to get the lighting right here. There might be some reflections coming in that they're having to handle and stuff like that, but generally it's a lot more simple to shoot in the day. We've got incredible detail here on his suit. To be fair, his face actually might be out of focus and his suit is in focus. This is partially moving, so that it could be for that reason as well. But yeah, wanted to get an idea for some light scenes. There's other great shots in this movie, but I was just like, look, generally I want an outdoor shot, and I want a night shot, right? So this is how you light at night. You know, to me, this is great. Sure, you've got a lot of surrounding light and supportive light from the building itself and things that are going on around you. Now, I get it. We're in Black Panther. We're in the jungle. I get it, you know. But look how much light in a scene that is, you know, they've just shot up the building. They're trying to remain undercover, and we're in the shadows. And even with that, right, we're providing incredible lighting to what really is the most important, the face, right? The face of the character or whoever you're using in the movie, right? This is important to grab this, right? We haven't crushed anything. You know, I just think. So just real quick, yeah. So this is how Christopher Nolan uses light and lighting at night compared to this movie, right? Where's the light coming from? Sure, again, we're in the jungle, right? But it has to be done differently, I think. You know, this is just you just can't really see what's going on. And now we're in this again. I know it's not going to be a like for like shot, but I wanted to get an idea of how Christopher Nolan shoots at night. I think he does it the best. His color grading, everything. You know, this is done the best. This is not done the best. So the biggest issue with the movie. Okay, yeah. All right. So the biggest issue with the movie is this black level detail. How much light is in scenes. You know, that's the biggest problem. Color and everything outside, excellent resolution, really, really good. I'm not seeing artifacts and breakdown and things like that in the background of shots. This is a Disney disc. They're not using a 100 gig disc. What they have done, I think, is very, very good. from Disney and just their encoding point of view and releasing the disc as accurate as what they were provided. This is what they were provided. You know, they're not going to raise brightness themselves. It has to be done in post-production. So what they've done, I think, is very good. With the limited space that they've had, I think is a very good transfer. But you're going to have issues with this, with the way it's lit, right? Okay. So, this was a screenshot taken from Bobby. There's an audio guy. I'll leave a link in the description about where to check this video out. But he discusses audio compression and things like that. So the reason I did this is because I want to talk about compression in this way. So this is a completely uncompressed audio, right? Completely uncompressed, and you know, we're peaking here. Whether this, I don't know how high we're going, but just a general idea of limiting and upwards and downwards compression, that type of stuff, what Disney are doing with this movie. So, what happened there? Right, the waveform got smaller. It shrunk in, which means the difference between the highest sound and the lowest sound has now been made smaller. The reason this is good in quite a lot of cases, especially music, definitely in music, is because listening to the twinkling that's happening in the very lowest part of your sound compared to the highest sound, you need incredibly good equipment to actually hear that, right? Well, what's the point in... It would cost more, right, to audio engineer a mix for the 4K Blu-ray completely uncompressed, right, and then the same one for Disney Plus, right? So you can watch this on Disney Plus, and it's like, wow, you can hear this sound, you can hear every sound. Well, it's because the sound is compressed. Again, not from the point of dynamics of bass is clipped and the trebles, not from that point of view. It's just the sound volume has been brought in. Now, by doing this, let's just say this was negative 10 dB and this was negative 20 dB, right? Let's just say it was. We've almost lowered our sound by 10 dB, maybe 8 dB if we were looking at this graph, right? The problem with doing that is the average volume is actually come down as well. Even though the bottom sounds have been lifted up and the top have come down, the average volume now at this point would have come down. There's potential it actually could have went up because you're bringing up the low sounds, but you are bringing down the peaks as well. So I'm not really too sure about that. In any case, this may have to do with the reason why I had to listen to this movie at -8 on my... sorry, not -8, -2 from -10. So yeah, it was a -8 difference. I had to listen to it that high on my receiver. I had to boost it really by that much, just so it matched the volume of other movies. Is this why? And is this why? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why you would do that. Maybe it's something to do with the way Dolby does things as well. If you're compressing things more than other movies or other sounds, it maybe does push the average volume up, and they were above the average volume, so they couldn't raise it anymore. I don't know. I don't know why. So the reason I'm really pointing this out is, there was sounds and music that I was like, everything sounds at the same volume. There's no ups and downs of sound. They played music through the movie, and as well, it sounded, from a dynamics point of view, you could say it sounded flat. It had bass, it had treble, and it had everything in between, but it felt slightly lifeless. Um, yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't know why. Just not really. I'm not a sound engineer, right? I'm not involved in post production, but I'm the one on the other end. I'm watching the movies. I've been listening to home theatre for a long time, since I was 8, 10. You know, I've been listening to home theatre for a long time. Like, there's lots of things you pick up on all of the time over that many years of watching movies, and also with the internet now. If I don't know something, I can just research it online, or I can check some guy's video out on YouTube, and I can figure out, okay, yeah, that's what they're doing, right? That's really what I did. Also, you gain knowledge over time, and there's some type of compression going on when every sound is about the same. Why do this? Because, well, number one, again, this is easier for Disney Plus, right? You can have a soundbar, you can have anything, and it would still sound good. You can still hear things. You can hear the voices. You can hear the twinkling of stars, or because in this movie towards the end, there was you could hear like these twinkle. I can't remember what scene it was. It was towards the end, but you could hear that, and I'm like, okay, but there's no difference in sound volume of it all. There's none of this. Now, compression has to be involved in all movies. If you watch even Dune, right? Dune has a massive volume in the movie, on 4K on the disc, completely uncompressed. It's massive. If you listen to the music volume of the movie and you buy the music, like we did, the volumes are very different, and the volume of the music was about 1 dB shy of going into 0 dB. With digital audio, if you go into 0 dB, you've clipped your signal, and you never want to do that. You always want to check to see if any signals have clipped. It doesn't clip, but it's close, right? So now you import that music to be used in a movie. Well, are you using it at full volume, or are you using it at the volume that you're doing your movie for? If you're bringing the volume down, then you're missing out on the low end, right? There's certain sounds that you're going to be missing out on. And to do that, you might need some type of compression just to bring this up a little. Now, you could just be using upward compression, only raising the bottom. That could happen. Again, I'm not sure how all of this works. I've never been in the industry to do that. But this movie, to me, was obvious that the balancing of everything was almost too perfect. Which made it sound unnatural. But a Disney disc. It had Atmos effects, it had surround effects, it had bass, it had good clear dialogue. This is really everything I look for in a movie. It just sounded slightly flat, right? My score is 4.25. It's not perfect. The video, it's not perfect. But there's a lot of qualities that it gets right in the video and it gets right in the audio. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. If you've seen it on Disney Plus and the 4K, is there a noticeable difference? Is it too dark? Do you have a display where you thought it was actually lit completely fine? I would like to know I would like to know what this looks like on a QD OLED. In a completely black room, maybe fully calibrated as well, does it still look not good? Because if, you know, if you're getting a Sony QD OLED or something like that, really high end now, right? 77 inch it was, if it was available. Maybe it wasn't last year. I think we're getting into that this year. How good does it look? Again, this is consumer grade displays. If you can't get your movie to look good on a consumer grade display, start over and do something different. Because yeah, this is really not working. Okay, that's enough for me for a while. Yeah, let me know what you think. Yeah, not perfect. Didn't love the movie, to be honest. Wasn't really my thing. Not a fan. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a good day.